school calendar. Thursday, the 75th of the National Junior College Football Championship returns to Barney Smith Stadium. From last chance to the NFL, the road to Pittsburgh is the next step. You can get your tickets today at the State Ticket Office in Group Race Harley. High school football team. Call 620-235-4796. Again, that's 620-235-4796. It's the National Junior College Football Championship, December the 5th. Be a part of their story.
Let's get back to the game on your home from the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
Timeout, Humboldt.
Got a timeout by Humboldt.
And we've got our live stream up, it looks. Except there is a wicked bad glare. So we're going to do what we can about that real quick for you.
Tuesday next week at 3 o'clock, JV tennis at Parsons. 5 o'clock, high school volleyball. And
but again, we will have live stream up for the. I bet I can fix that glare. Give me a second momentarily. Oh yeah, I have fixed the glare. How about that?
There we go. We got the live stream going for you guys.
So the injured player on the field was number 22, Drake Harrington, although he went off on his own power. The 2-point conversion now for Humboldt. It's an end around, and in there will be number 32, Kyle Cobald. So that's going to make this 28-14. And we got a flag down. Never mind. We got an illegal shift, and man, these officials love the illegal shift call. They've called that on, I think, 3 of the 4 conversion attempts now. Again, we apologize for all the mess-ups on our stream. I don't know. I'd love to say that's our fault, but I don't really know if it's our fault. It was just a rookie mistake. We'll call it a rookie mistake. Technical difficulties, but the stream is now up and going.
Timeout by Humboldt.
Now Humboldt going to take a timeout, trying to set up the conversion here. Instead of a 3-yard conversion, going to be an 8-yard conversion. Say we'll just keep it here as we're going to have a halftime timeout here in just a second, so no need to take another break. Again, the injured player on that last one was Drake Harrington, although he was able to walk off under his own power, so it doesn't look like it's anything too serious. Don't want to speculate too much, but again, he looked like he was doing all right. All right. Haviland going to take the snap. And looks like that's not Haviland, that's Coronado throwing, and that one's going to be short, well short. That's not Coronado either. I can't tell you who that is. They're too far away, and it's too dark. Nonetheless, we're here at halftime. It is 26-14. The offense doing about what we expected. However, the defense, not the start they wanted here in the first half, but we'll talk about that more here in a couple of minutes. We're going to go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout. Again, 2-minute timeout as we refresh up here in the booth. Now that we've got our live stream up and going, we'll take a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Humboldt Cub football right here on 1460 AM, 99.9 FM, and KKOY.com.
Hi, this is John from Tata, and I have a friend who uses a wheelchair and resides in a nearby nursing home. Before her life-changing accident, Winfred had a house full of stuff. But things have changed. Recently, when visiting my friend had a stroke, and the small signs of her living health in that nursing home. It's in the room for a bed and chest of drawers. She had prayed for a large, spacious living room, but since that wasn't possible, things subdued her heart's desires to match her situation. She set to work, and with photos with flower arrangement, over after the plaque on the wall that I read the one, a friend has made that little space into a real home. She scaled down her heart's desires and fashioned a cozy nest out of a tight craft space. A he's around for her designs with those circumstances. My friend, out of Kentucky. A good thought that this will be changed out afterwards. It's a good
Let's get back to the game on your home for the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
Back here in Neoda Shea, it helps if I turn my mic on. You hear me a little bit better. But it's halftime, and see how long of a halftime we got. We got a long one. Band out there, and I think I just heard they're going to play some Paul McCartney. Sorry, Cody just threw his headset down, and he walked out. I guess he's done. Oh, there, he's coming back. I thought he just, like, spiked his headset down. I thought he was done. But, Cody, you still, yep, Cody's still here.
Yeah, I went and checked. Man, you can't really see that scoreboard from over here, but it looks like they gave us 11 minutes for halftime left, so.
Yeah, it looks like they had 15 minutes to start. But again, said Paul McCartney going to be playing some music here. I know you probably can't hear it up here in the booth, but they sound pretty good so far. Again, two-way school. I'll give them credit. They're not, small band. They got good numbers out there for a two-way school, and they sound pretty good so far. But let's talk about what we've seen here in the first half of this one. And I was talking to some of the guys who were running the clock and scoreboard over there for the quick 2 minutes we had, and I told them, I said, hey, I'm impressed, and they said, oh yeah, so are we. And they said we're much improved from last year. Again, Humboldt, Neoda Shea last year finishing, I believe, 2-7, and I had it in my notes here, and if I can find my notes here, last year Humboldt finished the season 2-7, and that was after an 0-7 start. So you got to consider they went 2-0 to finish the season last year, and a new head coach, Dave Gillette, and he's got these guys going. And also heard that one of Neoda Shea's quickest players, one of their quick running backs, he's hurt tonight, or not playing tonight anyway, and that just would add so much more dynamics to this offense, as Phoenix Carpenter has really been carrying the load. And when it's not been him powering it up the middle, the connection between Mason Ellis and Toby Curtis has been very good. As Curtis, good hands on him. Curtis, let's see, Curtis here listed as a senior, 5'11", 165, and definitely great athletic ability. Wouldn't be surprised if he got some looks at JUCO, D2 maybe. Definitely, I don't know the history on these guys, but he's got the talent for sure. As he showed great potential here tonight. But the defensive line for Humboldt, I've kind of been told, not quite as big as they were last year, and that was kind of one of their strengths last year. Is I was kind of looking at the numbers. Humboldt did not give up double-digit points last year until the final game of the year. They gave up 6 points 3 times and 7 points twice, and had 2 shutouts. And then they gave up 12 to Southeast. So this is the most points they've given up in a regular season game and over a full football season now, and we're only at halftime. So this is an adjustment. We really want to see how these players react to this at the break, because a lot of these guys, especially the juniors and seniors that have been within this program for the last year, 2 years, they expect shutouts. They expect, okay, the team got a garbage time touchdown on us. 14 points in the first half. That's a touchdown a quarter. I mean, you're talking 28, 30 points a game you're giving up if this trend continues. How do the defensive players and the offensive players, for that matter, react? Because if you're giving up points, you still got to score 2018 Kansas City Chiefs style.
See, Humboldt lost, I think they lost 5 players because they were seniors, and they graduated, so they're not there this year. So they kind of lost them, so they got these other guys that was juniors and sophomores stepping up. So.
Yeah, and they've got a big senior class, and I believe they had 14 on this year's senior class, but they lost a lot as last year's senior class really played a big role. In the biggest loss, Dagan Goodner, who was the quarterback. I was kind of watching some film from last year. Again, I was covering Independence. It's not that I didn't like Humboldt. I was covering Independence all year. I didn't have the chance to go to any Humboldt games. I would have if I could have, because Humboldt was the team to beat in the area. But
Humboldt was very strong last year.
Yes, and I watched some film today, and Goodner was kind of a do-everything guy. He was a quarterback. He was a safety. He was the kicker. He did everything, and it was a heck of an athlete.
See, the quarterback they got this year, Connor Haviland.
He was a starting running back last year.
Yeah, he's 6'1", 185.
For 2A football, that's a good-sized quarterback.
Yeah, he can get down the field too.
He can scoot.
Quarterback
dude had 1,600 yards, and I got numbers here. Last season, he had 1,687 rushing yards and 39 total touchdowns.
Yeah. When he's on a move, man, he's on a move.
He expects it. He's one of those guys that I'm talking about when I say, okay, this team's not used to giving up 14 points and a half. He's one of these guys. How does he react to that? Is he going into their, I want to say locker room, looks like carport over there. Is he going in there, and is he throwing his helmet down and saying, come on, guys, to the younger classmen that are stepping up? Is he saying, you guys got to do better? Or is he in there saying, hey, guys, this isn't Humboldt Cub football. This isn't Cub-style football. We got to get in there. He needs to go in there and give a Tebow speech.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Get him built up. That's what he's got to do, because like you said, man, he's really.
Hold on, they're announcing winners of the raffle. Oh, I didn't buy one. Never mind. Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say now.
That's what I do. I'm good at You'd ask Kane, you get to know Kane. I'm great at that. I just interrupt people all the time and make people lose their train of thought. That's what I'm best at. And the band making their way off the field. They did a great job out there. Looked like they had a 007 theme going. I thought they said McCartney. I don't know. Now they got the cheerleaders / dance team. Spirit Squad, that's what we're calling them.
Yeah.
I don't know. They change the name every year. They got, for 2A school, they've got more kids than a 4A school normally has. But again, we got about 5.5. Let's go ahead and take another 2-minute timeout, and we'll come back and we will talk about what we want to see happen here in the third quarter as Neodesha will receive the opening kickoff. Again, we'll take a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Humboldt Cub football on AM 1460 and 99.9 FM, as well as KKOY.com.
I am a credit. My students choose a modern employment. As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there. My future was finding the support to get back on my feet. DAV helps veterans and every generation to the benefits of current. I'm a veteran. When I get out, I feel like home safe. So veterans can reach victories, great and small. A victory is mine now. Thanks, DAV. I'm going up to it again. Support voice victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org. BW Trailer, which is recently for the future of American manufacturing, knows American is the future. One thing is allowing the principles that work now and make them move. That's my BW Trailer, which is a steel-made and made-by future. Strong, consistent, and trusted BW products are manufactured in a state-of-the-art facility. America's skilled workforce of craftsmen. That's the new trailer base. And in addition to allowing full and compromise on the leadership union. That's why we focus on the U.S.-made studio that's shaping the safe and durable American products. BW Trailer, which is proudly made in Humboldt, Kansas. Go, Cubs.
Monarch Steaming Company has been committed to quality and excellence for more than 100 years. The employees of Monarch have worked hard to produce the highest quality cement for its customers. We don't stop at just making the highest quality cement. The Monarch family of companies extends into the realm of ready-mix concrete, concrete products, and sundry building materials. Monarch employees share a commitment to quality essential in meeting the varied applications of their customers. Monarch Steaming Company, dedicated to quality and craftsmanship for over a century.
Hi, this is Ryan Baker, State Farm Agent Schmidt. I believe it's important to protect your family in the event of an emergency. Come see me today in downtown Schmidt at 205 East Main. Let me help protect your vehicle with all and provide your health insurance. For protect your future. Come say hi to that 10 months Schmidt.
Let's get back to the game on your own from Humboldt on 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
All right, back here in Neodesha, man, they're offering us food, and they're trying to get me off the air because if I ate, I wouldn't make it through the whole second half. That's probably more information than anybody wanted to know, but that's just kind of how it is up here. You don't eat. You eat after the game. Those are the unwritten rules of broadcasting on the radio.
I don't know how they're eating that hot food with how hot.
Yeah,
it
no
is.
kidding.
No.
Yeah, it would look like lasagna or something. Like, you guys got a cold sandwich or? Because it's hot.
I'll tell you what, we got here and holy cow, we're trying to get everything set up and we were downpouring sweat by the time we got up here.
No kidding. I'm getting
starting to get cooled down.
Cody, I'm getting texts from Destiny back at the studio, and just so people know, Destiny's a weird person, like extremely weird. She's also my wife, so I can say stuff like that. But I mentioned that they had lasagna or something. This woman loves lasagna. I think I made her jealous, which is fine. That's funny, because now she might be craving lasagna, which means when we get off the air, she might go home and make lasagna, which means Brett might have late night lasagna for dinner tonight.
Or she's going to make you make it.
Which, no, she'll make it. Which, if she's making late night lasagna, and she's typing on the texter right now, so we'll see. But me and Cody might be having late night lasagna tonight.
Right on.
Which, hey, after a cool ride home in the AC, I could take some lasagna.
Amen with that.
And believes like she says that her and Cody are switching roles. She's going to come do the game with me next week, and Cody's cooking lasagna.
No, I don't think so.
No, Cody says no, so guess we'll see. But again, we are, it says 1 minute and 15, but the cheerleaders are still out there, and I believe Keisha rules still state that you have to give a team 3 minutes to warm up. So I'm assuming they're going to add 3 minutes to that scoreboard.
Everybody that's just now tuning in, we finally got our live stream up, so catch us on KKOY on the YouTube page.
Yeah, if you go to KKOY.com, there's the Humboldt Cubs logo there. You click on that, and it'll take you directly to the YouTube page. I know sometimes it's confusing if you go directly to the YouTube page because random stuff pops up or likes to pop up anyway. But again, like Cody said, we are on finally. Second half will be up anyway. And it's KKOY.com on YouTube. And again, we appreciate everybody listening so far on 1460 and 99.9 FM, whichever station you're getting us on. We appreciate it. Can't say enough about our sponsors that we have. And hey, if you're out there listening and you've got a business or know somebody that's got a business, we would appreciate more support if we can get it. We want to be here all season, and I hopefully we've worked out all the kinks tonight that we can keep going and have no issues the rest of the year. But we need some more help because we want to broadcast. And I know people say, oh, it's a job. And I don't know about you, Cody. I feel like I can speak for you when I say this. I do it for the kids.
Right.
And that's what I did it in Independence for. I live in Chanute. For 6 years, I drove 45 minutes to Independence for home games. And I'd have people in Independence ask me why I do it. And at first it was a hobby, and then I fell in love with it.
Yep. And
I say we talked on the way over here, and I think you're similar. You want these kids to get the notoriety. You want these kids to, last year I didn't go to a single Humboldt game, but the last two playoff games, I watched them on the live stream, which Larry Pierce did those, and Larry does a great job. He does the Chinook games on our sister station. But it was so fun to watch those kids, and I don't know. That's just me. I know there's some people that do this to make money, but we do it for the kids, and we want these kids to have the notoriety. They deserve it. They work their tails off. They come out here in the summertime. They hit the weight room at 5, 6 a.m. They come out here, and I know officially they only practice for 3 weeks, but they have summer weights, summer workouts, summer camps, all this stuff. And, I mean, it's September, and it's 90 degrees. You know it was hot in the summer when they were out there doing that. They worked their tails off. And Neodesha, I mean, they scored 6 points in this game last year, and they've got 14 at half. Humboldt's got the athletes, but Neodesha has worked their tail off in this offseason, and it's showing here tonight. Yeah, they're not winning, but, I mean, and we don't do this. I know we're home of the Cubs radio, but I like to think that we expanded to the 99.9 FM this year and got it up and working, and I like to think, I'm not out there listening, obviously, but I hope it reaches Neodesha.
Right.
And I hope that there's some people in Neodesha. I promoted this on social media for the last week and a half, Twitter especially, a little bit of Facebook, but Twitter especially. Go ahead and follow me at @TheBrettShields on Twitter if you want to. I try to put as much Humboldt stuff on there as I can, retweeting everything that the Cubs athletic page has put on there as well. But I hope that there was somebody in Neodesha, if it was one person, I hope there was one person that thought, man, I can't make it to the game, and somebody saw something on Facebook or Twitter and said, hey, you know, Brett and Cody are doing the game. You should be able to listen to it on 99.9. I hope they said they listened on the live stream and didn't get on there and say, it's not here. Right. I've gotten a couple of those already. But, again, we do this for the kids. We need sponsors. We need all the support we can get. And you're not supporting us. You're supporting the kids. Remember that. It's all about these kids, whether it's just Humboldt kids or it's Neodesha kids. It's Fredonia kids next week. It's Eureka kids. It's Erie kids. It's everybody in the area. And as much support as we can get, we'll take it.
See, and if you
That's my rant.
If you do got a business or anything like that and you want to get an advertisement going and get a hold of Larry Pierce, so you can get a hold of him at the radio station there in Chinook, KKOY-KINZ, My Town Media, 620-431-3169, and talk to him, and he'll get everything going, man. He'll work with just about anybody and get them
hey,
going. So.
He works with me and you, so I know he will work with literally anybody.
I mean, it's not a whole lot, but hey, I mean, get your advertisement out there, and I mean, a little bit's better than nothing. I mean, especially if you do it.
Yeah, we appreciate.
It helps the football team. It helps us being able to do what we do and get everything on air. And
the one person out there that's thinking about doing this, we appreciate it. To the rest of you that are wishing we would shut up and just talk about football, Neodesha's got this thing teed up and we're off, and it's an onside kick and an amazing recovery. As if it's dark up here, I can't see.
Kickoff covered by Breyer Orth.
They're saying Breyer Orth. That doesn't look like an 18 to me. That looks like Aiden Jean to me. But nonetheless, Humboldt's going to get this thing at the 49-yard line, and another short field. That's making me think the first kickoff of the game was an onside kick. I thought it was just a bad kick, but if they did it on purpose that time. And wait a minute. Neodesha kicked off both halves.
Humboldt just came up.
Yep, Neodesha kicked it off. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that Neodesha chose to kick at the beginning of the game instead of deferring. And if you've got an official who goes by the book, Neodesha got the option in the first half. They chose to kick. Then Humboldt gets the option in the second half, and they chose to receive. So that's an unfortunate break for Neodesha.
Like you said, they got an onside kick.
So Haviland will take the snap, and a big stiff arm by Connor Haviland. Now he's lowering his shoulder, and a strong run by Connor Haviland as he will pick up close to 10, probably closer to 9, but he'll pick up the first down. It's Dominic Ramey on the tackle for Neodesha, but a good strong run by Connor Haviland. That'll set up 1st and 10 at the Neodesha 39-yard line. And a snap to Haviland, and that time he gives to Coronado, and that play going nowhere. As Coronado, they're going to give him about 1.5 yards. Chris Aldrich on the tackle, and Aldrich holding his arm maybe. Yeah, Aldrich going to hustle off. And just checking to make sure we are live, and it appears that we are. So, sorry if you just don't know what I'm rumbling about, but that's it. Haviland going to step back to pass. Great catch there. And that's Kyle Kobold. And that one's going to go for about 7 yards. Going to set up a 3rd and short, 3rd and less than 1, really. A good pass there. Fire that one in there. And again, great job by Kyle Kobold making the catch. That'll set up again a 3rd and 1. This is that scenario where I wish teams didn't go out of the shotgun, but Humboldt exclusively out of the shotgun. So need a 0.5 yard, but Haviland going to take this one 4 yards back, and Haviland just going to run straight forward. And he's got 10, 20, he's at the 10, at the 5, and touchdown Cubs as Connor Haviland takes that one 29 yards to the house, and that makes the score here 32-14. Your Humboldt Cubs on top. And that'll set up the 2-point conversion, which has been kind of a nightmare so far as the night has gone, as Humboldt has probably, I'm not keeping stats on penalties, I would say they have 6 penalties tonight. I think 5 of them have been on the conversions. They'll set up with a power formation. It's a weird looking snap.
I think he's got that one in.
And he's in there, and that looked like number 15, Cooper Jarrow. And I'm sorry, Cooper, I said your name like 8 different ways tonight, but nonetheless, conversion's good. It's 34-14. Humboldt on top with 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Humboldt Cubs football right here on AM 1460 and 99.9 FM, as well as KKOY.com.
My grandpa started small, real small. Back then, we didn't have much to start with. It was the land of mule, a salmon seed, but he made it work. And my family has been making it work for 2 generations since. It all started from a seed. In farming, everything starts with a seed. At Community National Bank and Trust, we've got the seed money you need to get started. Take pride in your work, and we take pride in helping you do it. Find the Community National Bank and Trust near you at mybankcmb.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Let's get back to the game when you're home from the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
All right, back here in Neodesha, Kansas. I'm going to try to mess with my mic there a little bit during the timeout. So we're back here in Neodesha as the Cubs take a 34-14 lead. And again, there is 8 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. And the teams are out onto the field, ready to go. As Humboldt gonna kick it off here. And this one's gonna be kicked deep. It's gonna be fielded at about the 15-yard line. And whoo, man, 33 for Neodesha. That's Toby Curtis. Curtis having a heck of a game. Been great at the wide receiver position so far tonight, and almost took that kickoff back to the house. Had one man to beat and got tripped up at about the 42-yard line. Nonetheless, a short field for the Neodesha Blue Streaks as they're going to try to claw their way back into this one. And I tell you what, Neodesha, when they scored that touchdown to make it 20-14, everything was going right. And then Humboldt scores in the final 20 seconds of the first half, and in the first 3.5 minutes to start the second half, and all of a sudden it's a 20-point game again. give to Carpenter on this one, and it's really going to be no gain, maybe a gain of 1 if you want to be generous.
Ball carried by Phoenix Carpenter, number 42.
It's when you get right there.
So Neodesha back to the line as Ellis will get in the shotgun set. 2 running backs back there with him. The snap, that one gets to his legs. Humboldt's back there. Can somebody fall on it? And ball's still loose. Humboldt says they've got it. Cobalt saying he's got it. And the white hat agrees. It's going to be Humboldt Cub football at the Neodesha 21-yard line. And, man, it felt like Neodesha was clawing their way right back in there. And then, boom, 20 seconds left in the second quarter, Humboldt scores. 3 minutes into the second half, Humboldt scores again. 45 seconds later, a big turnover as Humboldt has the ball already nearing the red zone with a chance to score again. Haviland takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. He's at the 5, the 10, lowers his shoulder. Never heard a whistle. Guess he's going to be down at about the 5-yard line, but a gain of 16 for Connor Haviland. And that's going to set up a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
He kind of trucked that one guy just right out of his way, huh?
Defender Carl.
I'd love to tell you how much time on the play clock, but they don't have one here, so takes away like one of the few things I was good at, watching the play clock. Haviland going to take the snap, and he's going to give that one. Fakes to Coronado, and Haviland literally walks into the end zone. Touchdown Cubs, and that's going to make this one 40-14 with 8:05 left here in the third quarter with the conversion still to come. And good job by Haviland, a natural running back. And he kept that thing in the gut of Coronado. And Coronado smartly never took the ball. And they waited to see who the defense was really going to commit to. And they finally committed to Coronado. And at that point, Haviland able to pull that one out and walk into the end zone for an easy 6.
They just left that middle wide open for him to just get his way through there.
Full house backfield. Haviland takes the snap. He's going to keep this one to the outside. And he's going to, again, tiptoe walk ever so smoothly into the end zone. It's 42-14 just like that. Again, 8:05 left here in the third quarter, and this Neodesha crowd has gone completely silent. We're going to take 30 seconds. You're listening to Humboldt Cub football on AM 1460, 99.9 FM, and KKOY.com.
The Drive to Zero Coalition reminds us that every life is important and invites you to join the Drive to Zero campaign. Drunk drivers are involved in 1/3 of all traffic crash fatalities. That's over 100 fellow Kansans. Please do your part. Designate a sober driver and get home safely. Buckle up and eliminate distracted driving. And remember, in Kansas, you drink, you drive, you lose. Sponsored by the Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition. Let's get back to the game with your home from the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
Back here in Neodesha, and this game has taken a huge swing as Neodesha had a 3-minute drive right there at the end of the second quarter to make this one 20-14, and everybody in the stadium, Humboldt, Neodesha, I guarantee you, coaches on both sides thought, man, this is not what we expected, but Neodesha looked like they were going to make this a game all the way into the second half, and then Humboldt in 26 seconds getting down the field, scoring 3 minutes into the second half, and then again 45 seconds later, and just like that, it's a 22-point ball game. And also just like that, Phoenix Carpenter, very
it looks like Blue Street's got one man hurt down there.
Neodesha going to have a guy down, but Phoenix Carpenter, not a pretty catch on the kickoff return there, but able to bring that one in and kind of bobbled it a little bit. But
I can't tell who that is out there.
Yeah, he ended up taking that one back to midfield, so it's going to be Neota Shea football right at midfield, but we do have an injured Blue Streak, and I got the binoculars out, but not having
He's
much.
surrounded there.
Yeah. Looks like Wyrick as well out there. A couple of Neota Shea coaches as well as a trainer, and head coach Logan Wyrick out there checking on them, and you like to see that great sportsmanship as the visiting coach. And Carpenter. Carpenter had a big night tonight, but he popped right up. And he's not even having help off, if he's just going to walk off on his own power. Even as a Humboldt fan, you never want to see that. You want to see everybody healthy. Ed Carpenter walked right back to the huddle. He wanted to play, and the trainer had to tell him he had to sit out a play. He was ready to go, so apparently nothing too serious. And talking about injuries, I know I saw an interview with Chiefs defensive end Frank Clark today, and they were talking about the Jaguars' starting left tackle was out Sunday, and they were asking Frank Clark, what do you think about that? You're going to go up against a third string, actually. Their backups hurt too. And I expected him to say, oh, yeah, I get to eat on Sunday. And he said, man, that's bad. That's too bad. I really wanted to go up against the best competition possible and hopes the best for the guy. And thought, you know what? That's what sports is about. You got to beat the best to be the best. And same thing here tonight. Carpenter, one of the best players out here tonight, and you want to see him healthy. Ellis takes a snap, and that one's stuffed in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 1. Couldn't see who the back was on the carry. Looks like Briar Orth on the tackle there for Humboldt. And, yep, Carpenter going to come back in after missing just 1 play. So apparently he's all right. It's going to set up a 2nd down and 11 to go. Ball at the Neota Shea 49-yard line.
Carpenter, he's 5'11", 220.
He's a load.
He's a junior. So
oh, man. He's a load, too. Gets a little more muscle on him. He's got next level written all over him. Ellis drop backs to pass, and now he's going to scramble, and he's going nowhere.
Loss of yards right there, by a loss of 5.
Look like.
Maybe not quite 5. But
look like Gunnar Edler and Joshua Hall. And good job by that front line of the Humboldt Cubs. And yeah, say Neota Shea, they're just in shock right now. They had this thing within 6 points, just like that, and it's a 28-point game now. So they had it within 6, and they've barely had the football at all. Neota Shea just trying to figure out something as they've gone from 1st and 10 at the 50 to now 3rd and 15. Ellis going to throw, and the pocket quickly collapsing. And we talked about it at halftime. How would this Humboldt Cub team react to giving up 14 points, as they didn't give up 14 all year last year until they hit the playoffs? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that somebody chewed some butt, to say it nicely.
Say they had a little nice
I feel like
conversation
Coach Wyrick and the other coaches probably said some words that we just can't say on the air, and lit a fire under their you-know-whats. And because this Humboldt Cub team is playing just out of their minds right. This is what we expect. I shouldn't say out of their minds. This is what we wanted to see. This is what we expected from last year. It just took them two and a half quarters to get going. Neota Shea going to punt. It's a good one. And that looks like Jarrow to get the return. And he's going to return that one to about the 43-yard line at Cooper Jarrow. He got that one at about the 25. Brought it back to, I guess they're going to spot that, at about the 40. I got the 3 different officials out there. 43. So a return of about 18 yards. I mean, that's nothing to hang your hat over. Take that every time. I mean, I know he probably wanted to take it to the house, but he returned a kickoff back in the first quarter, so that's what he was wanting to do there. But 18 yards, nothing wrong with that. Haviland going to be in the shotgun. Coronado to his backside. And it's a handoff as Coronado looking for the edge, and he is outnumbered. As he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. As it looked like it was going to be kind of a speed option. And then Haviland went back and handed the ball to Coronado. Kind of a weird play set up, but
looks right at the 44-yard line.
Now set up a 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10 to go.
42-14, Humboldt Cubs leading.
About 5:01 to go, clock ticking in the 3rd quarter. And Haviland, one back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. It's a direct snap to Coronado, excuse me. And he's still going. He's actually going to pick up the 1st down on that gain of about 13. And a good play call there by Coach Wyrick as they called for the direct snap. And we've got a blue streak down. We're going to go ahead and take a quick 30-second timeout. You're listening to Humboldt Cub football on AM 1460 and 99.9 FM, as well as KKOY.com.
Let's get back to the game on your home for the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
And back here in Neodesha, injured players still down and don't have a number on that one yet. I'll do my best, but
He's slowly getting back
we
up.
don't hate to speculate injuries. It looks like now he's just getting a drink. He's up on his knees, so he's got his head up anyway.
Keeping the stats tonight for Humboldt, Ken Goodner, Mike Plumman, and Jason Bauer. And for Neodesha, Tommy John and Clint West.
That's going to be number 61,
Alex Beach.
Alex Beach. And Beach has had a couple of big blocks here tonight, lineman, but he's played a good game. He's part of that front line for Neodesha that's played very well.
He's limping off, holding his right side.
So we don't want to speculate really what's going on, but you can speculate more when they kind of jog off and they look like they're going to play, but never want to see an injury, period. Hopefully he's all right, but back to action. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Humboldt at the Neodesha 45-yard line. And Haviland going to be in shotgun, Coronado to his left side. Play action, and Haviland going to throw, and that one's going to be over the head of Cobald. He was double covered, so a risky throw, but I guess when you're up 42-14, you can take some risk. But nonetheless, Cobald going to hustle back, and I have no issues taking a shot like that on 1st and 10. You still got 3 more chances, as Humboldt showing they're not going to punt a whole lot tonight. And the fake to Coronado. Haviland going to keep it himself. Juke left, juke right, spinning. He's still going. He's at the 20, the 15, 10, 5. Connor Haviland. I would be shocked to see if we see a better run all year. Haviland, a juke left, a juke right, a couple spins, lowered the shoulder, and a wide open field in front of him. Touchdown Cubs. That one goes for about 45 yards. A great run for Connor Haviland as he is just tacking on to that touchdown total he had from last season. And a great 3rd quarter for the Humboldt Cubs.
For everybody watching on the live stream on YouTube, I'm sorry we got a little glare trying to video through this window, and it's just...
Yeah, it's not too bad, but quick snap, quick pass to the center on the swinging gate pass. Center's an eligible receiver, and that one's good. So it's now 50-14. We'll talk a little bit more about how amazing of a 3rd quarter this has been for Humboldt, but we're going to go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. You are listening to Humboldt Cub football on AM 1460 and 99.9 FM, as well as KKOY.com.
Football fans, mark your calendars for Thursday, December 5th, when the National Senior College Football Championship returns to Barney Smith Stadium. From last chance to the NFL, the road to Pittsburgh is the next step. Get your tickets today at the State Ticket Office Group rates are available for high school football teams. Call 620-235-4796. Again, that's 620-235-4796. It's the National Junior College Football Championship, December the 5th. Be a part of their story.
Let's get back in the game when you're home for the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
Back here in Neodesha, and it has been quite the third quarter, as it was a 6-point game at halftime. We are now, there's still 4 minutes and 17 seconds left. We are 5 minutes and 43 seconds in. That's not right. 7 minutes and 43 seconds. That sounds better. 7 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm pretty decent at math, but that was bad. So let's say 7.5 minutes in. Humboldt has scored 30 points in 7.5 minutes after scoring just 20 in the first 24 minutes. This one's going to be returned by Carpenter, and he's got a lane. He's dragging a guy. Carpenter's still going. Now he's dragging a team. And Carpenter again going to get this one near midfield as he gets it all the way to the Neodesha 49-yard line. And Phoenix Carpenter is having one hell of a night.
Number 83 also in on the play. Number 29, Trent Ray.
Around the Tri-Valley League, Caney Valley up 35-6 over Cherryville. That's with about 10 minutes left in the third quarter. See if we can't find some other scores around the area for you. When we get our next break in action, we'll probably keep it here and see what we can't do as far as some area scores. Ellis going to take the snap, and he's going to keep this one going left. And he's going to pick up a solid 10, 11 yards. But that's probably what Neodesha is going to need to do here if they want to try to get back in this one. It's going to be kind of the Ellis and Carpenter show.
Gavin Page, number 23. First down, Neodesha.
It's going to set up a 1st and 10 for the Blue Streaks as they got the ball right at the Humboldt 40-yard line. This time it's a give to Carpenter, and I think everybody on Humboldt's side of the field knew Carpenter was probably getting this one because there was about 7 defenders there to stack him up. That'll be no gain as the front 7 or front 6 of Humboldt playing a lot stronger here in the second half at least. Neodesha trying to figure out the perfect formula as Ellis comes to the sideline to get the play call from his coach. Gets back to the huddle to relay that play, and now they break the huddle. Ball at the Humboldt 38-yard line. I guess they did give Carpenter a gain of 1 on that last play. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side, split backs. Ellis in the shotgun. And he gives the ball, looks like 25, and he keeps going. 25, that's Ricky Sims, not to be confused with Ricky Bobby. But as Ricky Bobby said, if you're not first, you're last, and Ricky Sims running like he wanted to be first.
25.
Excuse me.
Maddox Cole.
Ricky Sims is for Humboldt. Man, I was on the wrong side. Man, I made like a good saying and everything. It sounded so cool, so disappointing.
I was sitting here, I was like, I think that's a Humboldt player. Hold on a minute.
Hey, Ricky Sims and your parents, kudos. That's a name. Ricky. I love it.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. I wanted to name my first son Ricky, just so I call him Ricky Bobby, but my wife shot that down. Well, that was my second name. First name was Jamal. Snap low. Ellis picks it up, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Actually, it looks like the far side official is going to mark that as a loss of 1. Yep. Wife just said, Ricky Bobby, no. We're not naming our kid Ricky Bobby. She didn't say no to Jamal, though. I think Jamal would be a perfect name for my kid.
What she don't know, don't hurt her, right?
That's right. Anyway, it's going to be 2nd and 11. Oh, man, I just got told no to Jamal. Well, maybe during pregnancy or childbirth. she'll get sedated or something, and I can just name the kid Jamal on my own.
Sign the birth certificate.
That's right. 2nd and 11. High snap.
Ooh.
Humboldt's got a chance at this one. And we'll see who's on it. It's a scrum, that's for sure. And looks like Neota Shea. Man. Neota Shea not near, well, I guess I was going to say Neota Shea not near as excited as they should be to keep possession, but that is a loss of about 15, so I can understand why they're not excited about that. That's going to set up a 3rd, and we're going to call it long, as I don't want to add all those yards up right now. Ball's going to be spotted at about the 42.5 of Humboldt. Let's say about 3rd and 25. 2 receivers each side. Ellis in the shotgun with one back to his right. He gets the snap, obvious passing situation here. Throws it to his right side, and that's going to be caught and taken down quickly. Pass was caught by number 16, Caden Fuller, but unable to make it anywhere else. Looks like we got a Humboldt player cramping up, and official's not going to stop this apparently. There we go. Oh, nope, maybe not. Oh, and that's the end of the quarter. That's why they didn't want to stop it. That makes sense. Well, I guess we're into the quarter. Better take a timeout. I was going to talk about some stuff, but with it being quarter break, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to the studio for 30 seconds. You're listening to Humboldt Cup football on AM 1460, 99.9 FM, as well as KKOY.com.
Football fans, mark your calendars for Thursday, December the 5th, when the National Junior College Football Championship returns to Brinkman Stadium. From last chance to the NFL, the road to Pittsburgh is the next step. You can get your tickets today at the State Ticket Office, and group rates are available for high school football teams. Call 620-235-4796. Again, that's 620-235-4796. It's the National Junior College Football Championship, December the 5th. Be a part of their story.
Let's get back in the game on your home for the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
Back here in Neota Shea, getting ready to start the 4th quarter. Humboldt out on the field, Neota Shea making their way to the field. Scoreboard doesn't like to take pictures. I'm trying to take a picture of the scoreboard, but doesn't look like that's happening.
Like it's just going to be a running clock.
Yeah, going to have a running clock here. Ellis takes a snap, running for his life on 4th and about 22, and he's going to get nowhere. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. Oh, Humboldt going to take over. Humboldt going to take over about the 41-yard line, their own 41-yard line. And Ellis coming off onto the sideline. He's not happy, and understandably so, as the quarterback, the team leader, he thought, you know what, at halftime, he felt good. And that was a miserable 3rd quarter if you're Neota Shea. And unfortunate, as they've played a heck of a game, the running game was phenomenal. Phoenix Carpenter has played a great game, a heck of a running back. But that 3rd quarter was all Humboldt, and it looks like we got a timeout. We're going to keep it here because I wasn't paying attention, and I don't want to miss a play or two. But as Cody mentioned, we'll have a running clock here, except for timeouts and injuries. Keisha rules it's 35 points or more, which we're at 36 currently. So even if Neota Shea were to cut into that lead, we will keep it a running clock the rest of the way here on out anyway. And that'll make for a rather quick 4th quarter. But I think ultimately in a game where it's a 36-point lead, the thing you want the most is to not get any more players hurt. You want to get out of here with a clean bill of health, or as clean as you can get. I know a lot of players, I've noticed a lot of players stretching out from cramps, and in this heat and humidity, that'll happen. But Humboldt going to get the offense back out there, and it looks like that is not Haviland. But this one may go the distance. I'd love to tell you who it is, but he's at the 10, at the 5, and that's a touchdown for Humboldt. And Cooper Jarrow on that one, and that one's going to go for 58 yards to the house as Cooper Jarrow hit the hole and didn't look back. Going to make it 56-14 here with 10:50 and counting in the fourth quarter. And Humboldt going to work on their two-point conversion attempts once again. That's been a struggle here tonight. Gotten about 50% of them, but been a bunch of penalties as we've got the backups in there still for the conversion. And it doesn't look like they're going to get this one. So we're going to, score will stay 56-14. Like 23, Gavin Page, the backup quarterback, the sophomore backup quarterback there. Unable to get that one in. We're going to go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Humboldt Cup football on AM 1460, 99.9 FM, and KKOY.com.
Let's get back to the game with your home for the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
Back here in Neodesha, and it is all Humboldt, as it looked like it was going to be a tight one here in the first half, but Humboldt definitely taking over, especially in that third quarter. And it looks like kind of bleeding into the fourth quarter as well. Again, we've got a running clock, so now we're down to under 9 minutes. We've burned off about a minute and a half.
Tell you what, I bet Neodesha is going to be working on a lot of ball handling, ball control, and all that on their practices because their coaches, they're not very happy with it.
No, and really, they had the turnover on the bad snap. But other than that, I mean, ball security wasn't a big issue. No fumbles or anything tonight. But really, it was kind of the offense and defensive lines in that third quarter where you could definitely tell Humboldt took over, as to where Neodesha was playing really well, running the ball really well, and yeah, just there in that third quarter, it was all Humboldt. So Neodesha going to get their, looks like their backup offense out on the field. We're down under the 8-minute mark now. 56-14, Humboldt on top. So backup quarterback for Neodesha. Looks like it's going to be Tristan Arnold. Now Arnold in the shotgun set. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side.
Ooh,
and everybody moved early. That's probably going to be a false start, as Cody said. Oh, nope. Looks like that's going to be on the defense. The official with the ball going the wrong way.
Offside. Defense.
Offsides defense.
Neodesha going to take the snap in that play, going absolutely nowhere.
Tackle made by number 68, Andrew Rotz.
Number 15, Tristan Arnold, man, he took that snap and it kind of went straight to his face on that.
Yeah, I don't think Arnold was expecting to play a whole lot tonight, especially at the quarterback position anyway. Arnold, 6'3", 190 sophomore, decent size. Get a little more muscle on him. Could be a good quarterback here in the future for the Blue Streaks.
He's got a couple years to learn, so you know, he can definitely make something happen.
The give to the back, and again, just going nowhere as Elijah Deegan getting about a yard and a half. That's going to set up a 3rd and we'll call it 6. Like Caney Valley at 42-6 over Cherryville. 8 minutes in the left in the third quarter. They've got a running clock the rest of the game in that one.
And with Tristan Arnold being 6'3", man, that center's just having a hard time snapping it to him. He's having to jump for most of them.
Yeah, that's a struggle there. Other scores around the area, a 3A Parsons. I can't remember what classification Iola is now. Iola leading Parsons 15-6. It's a little bit of a shocker to me. Parsons, plenty of speed on that team, but Iola leading the Parsons Vikings 15-6. The Independence Bulldogs just south of us, they're up actually in El Dorado right now, and they're in a battle with the El Dorado Wildcats 18-16 as they head to the fourth quarter.
Neoda Shea just can't make anything happen right here.
And it looks like that's a turnover on downs. So Humboldt going to take over at the 30-yard line of Neoda Shea. Trying to get a couple more score updates.
Looks like Humboldt's bringing in some of their younger guys.
Oh, as they should.
Yeah.
I mean, give these kids, you know, a quick drive here. It looks like the Chanute game has gone final.
Oh, up, fumble. Looks like Blue Streak's got that from Humboldt, so.
That's going to be Blue
right
Streak football.
Yeah.
And hey, you know, that's unfortunate for Humboldt, but for Neoda Shea is they've got, I can't remember where they travel to next week. I was thinking it was Erie.
He got the height, man, but it just bounced right off of his shoulder pads.
So Neoda Shea will travel over to Erie next week, and you know, little plays like that, you know, if you finish the game strong, that's definitely a good thing for this Neoda Shea team, as they struggled a bit in that third quarter and allowed Humboldt to really seal this game. But big plays like that will mean a lot next week in practice. Here's a snap to give to Deegan, and Deegan trying to bounce outside, and man, who was that? 61 for Humboldt, Blake Walker. Excuse me, 81, Jed Nash, the 5'10 sophomore, and a good play by Nash. As I was saying, Chanute game gone final. They were at Towanda Circle, which is kind of over by El Dorado. Good job, Comets, 24-0, posting a shutout. They were on our sister station, 95.3, and Larry Pierce had the call on that one, and sounded like a fun one for him to call.
Nice little handoff down the middle.
It's going to go up the middle, and it's going to be number 44, Babcock, Chad Babcock, the 5'9 freshman. When you got freshmen out there, that really shows these kids want to compete. But that's going to set up a 3rd and about 7 for Neoda Shea, as we've got about 2:10 and counting here in the fourth quarter. And they're going to make number 44 come out of the game. Somebody's got to go.
44, Chad Babcock. 5'9 freshman.
And Maddox Cole, the starting running back, going to go back out there. I think he might have had some blood on his arm, because the official kept pointing to his arm, and then he walked off the field kind of holding his arm out and went straight to the trainer. Doesn't look hurt, but might have had some blood on him.
Scrape or something.
There's a snap, and then Neoda Shea's going to pass, and not a bad looking pass. Just a little bit behind the receiver number 23, Jeff White. Jeff White, man, that sounds like a guy who should be like 45 years old. Jeff White, your local State Farm agent.
I'll tell you what, with how tall their quarterback is for Neoda Shea, I mean, it's just hard for that center to get the ball to him, because he just keeps throwing it up too high or just too low. You just don't know where he's exactly at. And again, he's 6'3" quarterback. And pretty tall for a quarterback.
And he's going to pass again. Arnold looking left, and he's going to, oh, that could have been pass interference on Humboldt if they wanted to call it. He's looking for Deegan on the left side, and like I said, that could have been PI. Sorry if there's any background noise there. It's back in the studio. We apologize.
Looks like it's going to be turnover on downs. Humboldt first down.
Teammate on her hand.
Again, that's my daughter, if you can't hear. I do apologize, but they're back in the studio. They're having a good time. They were just excited to listen to some football tonight. But
Humboldt took the hike and decided to kneel it.
oh, yeah, definitely. A game of respect, as this has been a good, clean football game, and that's going to do it. As the clock hits 0, it's going to be 56-14. That's your final score. A big win, and tell you what, at halftime, I didn't think 56-14 to be the final, but here we are. A good victory, number 1 on the season for the 2019 season. And anyway, we're going to take a 2-minute timeout, play some commercials real quick for you, and we're going to come back, talk about what we thought about the game, and look forward to next week's game against Fredonia, and hopefully, no promises, get to speak with Coach Wyrick. You are listening to Humboldt Cup football on AM 1460, 99.9 FM, and KKOY.com.
We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Humboldt Cubs broadcast. Drive safely, and we'll catch you next time on the home to the Humboldt Cubs, KKOY AM 1460 and 99.9 FM.
Oh, sorry about that. It sounds like we are back here in Neodesha. Sorry we had a little technical difficulty. Wrong button got pushed. It's okay. We're all first-timers here. Rookie night. Anyway, so we can go ahead and talk about this. Take a break here in a few minutes. Big win tonight for the Humboldt Cubs. Again, 56-14. And that's after it was 20-14 at halftime, so a big second half, an even bigger third quarter especially. But a great night of football if you are a Humboldt Cub fan. And that came out wrong. If you're a Blue Streak fan, not a bad night of football. If all you see is the final score, it was a bad night of football. If you came out here tonight and watched, or if you watched just the live stream, and just saw the second half, you probably saw a dominating football game. Neodesha played one heck of a first half of football. They came out here, they really set the tone as far as the battle of the trenches go.
A lot of lessons learned of what not to do and what to do.
Yeah, they came out, they battled, they pushed. Phoenix Carpenter impressed, as a junior especially. Super impressed with what Phoenix Carpenter can do. Neodesha, this program is headed in the right direction, especially after their struggles the last couple of years. But Neodesha's got things going in the right direction. Wouldn't be surprised if they finished in the top half of the Tri-Valley League by any means. Humboldt and Cherryville, Humboldt and Caney Valley definitely up there. Erie's pretty solid too, but wouldn't be shocked at all if this Neodesha team gets some big wins, as they've got a somewhat favorable schedule. Erie next week, Caney Valley week 3, that's going to be tough. Douglas, Belle Plaine, Eureka, Cherryville, Fredonia. They could go on a little run there.
It's going to be a good season.
Neodesha could definitely go on a run there with the way Carpenter was running tonight. Ellis, did a good job tonight there at the quarterback position. I really think that this Neodesha team headed in the right direction. As far as next week goes, we'll be on the road again. We're going to be on the road a lot, guys, a lot. We are in Fredonia next week, and I don't have a Fredonia score tonight. I bet I can probably find one. if I look hard enough. Let's see. Nope, Fredonia doesn't like to post anything on their Twitter pages.
Hopefully next week we can get our live stream working
Yeah,
at the beginning of the game.
that's the goal anyway.
Hey, it was our first game. We got everything kind of figured
We
out.
do apologize for that. Sorry if everybody was hoping to see a full football game. We had to do just the second half, but we finally did get things taken care of. But again, trying to find a quick score here for you on Fredonia. And I got nothing. Erie and Fredonia at halftime. That doesn't help. Fredonia was up 14-8 as they took on Erie tonight. Again, still no. I bet I could find something on Erie's page though. Let's see here. And nope, they've got less. Nonetheless, we had a halftime score. Fredonia battling Erie. It was 14-8. Both those teams, I think, were kind of expected to be middle of the pack in the Tri-Valley League. So, could be a tough matchup next week. And sorry, got a little confusion here. Anyway, got things situated. Be in Fredonia next week. Again, it's about a 45-minute trip there from Humboldt. If you can make it out, great. If not, we'll appreciate everybody that can listen right here on 1460 AM, 99.9 FM, or KKOY.com.
Catch us on the live stream on the YouTube page.
But Fredonia, kind of a rebuilding team as well. I really just want to tell you they're similar to Neoda Shea. That's not really fair to, I don't want to compare teams this early in the season, but two Wilson County teams, both kind of rebuilding. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if they came away with a win tonight against Erie, and obviously Humboldt able to build off of a big win here tonight. 56-14, again, the final score. We're going to go ahead and take 2 more minutes for a break. See if we can't get Coach Wyrick up here. If we can't, we may mumble a little bit more, but we're going to go ahead and take 2 minutes real quick. You're listening to Humboldt Cub Football on 1460 AM, 99.9 FM, and KKOY.com.
Hi, this is Johnny from Humboldt. I have a friend who uses a wheelchair and resides in a nearby nursing home. Before her life-changing accident, one friend had a house full of stuff. But things have changed. Recently, they visited the friend at street. There were some more signs of her living health in that nursing home. The home was building for a building in chest of drawers. She knew a place for a large, spacious living area, but since that wasn't possible, my friends subdued her heart's desires to match her situation. She took to look. This photos with flower arrangement, a colorful half-gallon of clock on the road and a red one. My friend was there that little space into a real home. She scanned down her heart's desires and fashioned a postbook out of a coat space. And equalizing her designs with her circumstances, my friend found it time. A good thought that this girl be checked out. It's a good every 16 minutes, someone dies when I reach the highways. Thousands of fatalities in the year. If you want to know this tragedy, buckle up. Buckle up legally on the video. Wear public. Pay attention to reduce distractions. While the president was recognised for fatality brought to you by the Kansas Department of Transportation and the station. I am a devil. My speech is about employment. As America's veterans face challenges, DOD is there. My future was found to support to be a back almost DOD is veterans of every generation to the benefits they earn. I'm a veteran. When I get out, I feel like home safe. So veterans can reach victories, great and small. My victory was fundamental. Thanks to DOD, I'm going up to it again. To support more victories for veterans, go to DOD.org. Let's get back to the game where you're home to the Humboldt Cubs, 1460 AM and 99.9 FM.
back here in Neota Shea, and trying to see if Coach Wyrick is making his way up here. And just hit a light. I'm going to see how bad of a glare that gave us. Not too bad, it didn't look like. And Coach Wyrick's still out there talking. It looks like to the Neota Shea coaches, and I had spoken to him earlier in the week, but he told me he's pretty forgetful, especially when it comes to coaches' interviews, as it's not a every year thing. So I'm going to try to get a feel and see if he's walking this way or not. But a quick stat for you. I didn't have any official stats, but the one big stat I did get is Connor Haviland had a great night running the football. He finishes with 15 carries, 249 yards rushing, along with those 4 touchdowns. Just an incredible night for Haviland, and actually it was quietly 249 rushing yards, if that's a thing. But just an incredible night. Yeah, it's going to be now, as Haviland looked incredible out there tonight. But that's what we want to see all season. Again, a big game next Friday night in Fredonia. Stadium there right next to the high school. And should be a fun night of football again, as last season that game was in Humboldt. And actually, I was talking to people. Again, I wasn't around the Humboldt organization football team school last year. I believe last year that game was actually supposed to be played in Fredonia, and there was an issue with some flooding, so they swapped last year and this year, and that's why we're having 3 straight road games to kick off the season. Also a reason why we only have 3 home games the entire season, albeit hopefully in the playoffs, if we get to the playoffs. Don't want to look too far ahead, but hopefully we can get some home playoff games to go along.
They can play like they did tonight.
Yeah.
I'd say they have a good season ahead of them.
Play like it did in that third quarter. We got a good season ahead of us for sure. Going to try to flip some lights here and see if Coach sees me. Otherwise, I've got about 30 seconds left of just rambling on. But anyway, again, next week we'll be in Fredonia. Road trip over there. If you can make it, great. Come support these kids. They've earned it. They've worked their tails off. They need all the support they can get. If you can't make it, though, that's why we're here. That's literally the only reason we're here.
Hey.
You go ahead and listen on 1460 AM, 99.9 FM, or KKOY.com. We'll have video on there. I think we've got all the kinks worked out. I know it was a struggle. We didn't have anything going the first half, but we got the whole second half up and going live. And coaches are out there hugging. I'm flipping lights. Doesn't look like we're going to get anywhere with them. And Coach is walking off to the sideline, isn't he? Oh, he's looking. He's not looking. He's looking. He's not looking, is he? All right. We're going to send it back to the studio. We're going to call it a night. Hopefully next week we can start a round of interviews with Coach Wyrick. I understand he wanted to get a big win tonight. That's what he was focused on. He probably wasn't focused on talking to us. I get it. Not a lot of people want to talk to me. It's just kind of natural. Hopefully people like to listen, though, because otherwise that's going to be an issue later on in the season. But we appreciate everybody for listening. The sponsors that we do have, well, again, like we said at halftime, if you're out there, you have a business, you run a business, you want to run a business, you want to help out, you want to support these kids, just get a hold of somebody at KKOY. Larry Pierce, he should be in there.
620-431-3169, MyTown Media in Chanute.
We support, or we appreciate as much support as we can get. The sponsors that we do have, you guys are incredible. We love everything you've done for us.
Couldn't do it without you.
Everything you've done for the kids. We thank you. Thank you so much. Big thank you to Destiny back in the studio. She's been great tonight, keeping us going good, especially on the radio. I know live stream we had struggles, but 99% of that was on our end. She did everything great tonight. Special thanks to Zoe, who I'm sure some of you could hear, my daughter back in the studio. It's late night. It was her first time of trying to hang out with Mom while she's running the board.
Keeping her in line.
Yeah, she did good tonight. But big thanks to Destiny and Zoe. Again, big thanks to our sponsors once again. Big thanks to Larry for kind of getting this going is Larry Pierce. He's the one that kind of convinced everybody to get this going, and I personally want to thank my good friend Kane Carpenter. He does one of our sister stations out of Independence. He does the Independence games. Without him, I would not be in the radio business at all. He's the one that got me started and got me to fall in love with this aspect of the game. We do it for the kids, but again, Kane, I know you're not listening because you're in El Dorado, but if you are, I wish you would know that I appreciate everything you've done for me to get me in this situation. Anyway, we'll be back next. What, Kane literally just started texting me on Snapchat. Maybe he was listening. I don't know. But again, great night of football. We appreciate everybody, all the support we can get. We'll see you next week in Fredonia. But for Cody, Trester, and myself, it's been a great night. We'll see you next week. You've been listening to Humboldt Cubs football on AM 1460, 99.9 FM, and KKOY.com.
And I'm signing out.
We'd like to thank everyone for tuning